Oh, hello. Today, well, I was thinking about maybe talking a bit about my mother. Not in a negative way, though. Um, I haven't had any contact with her for quite a few weeks now, and it all started with a video I made called Ancestors and Art, or it may have been called Art and Ancestors, I can't remember. And she got angry and made a post, and I replied to it and then deleted it. Um, she called it misinformation. I don't think she was talking so much about the video itself, but a comment I'd made where I'd got two family members mixed up. Like instead of a grandfather, I got her grandfather mixed up with her great one of her great uncles. That was it. I just got them mixed up about immigrating to Brazil. I just got the wrong person immigrating. That was all. That was a mistake. And she was going, misinformation. And I thought, that's a bit harsh for a little mistake like that. Who's going to care? Honestly, no one. I don't think she watched the whole video, especially the art bit. I don't think she saw that. She just watched the ancestors bit. And she, I don't think she liked me showing the pictures of deceased relatives. But she seems to forget that they're my relatives as well. And she gave me the pictures. And one person, well, I think I only got one comment apart from hers, which I deleted. One person said it was nice that I was showing pictures of my ancestors. They were just wedding pictures. And I was just talking about, why were they wearing dark women? Why were the women wearing dark clothing on their wedding day? I was just thinking about it and talking about it because I like history and I like cultural history, social history. And I did talk a bit about going back further into our ancestral past, way back. I don't know how many decades, well, not decades, centuries ago it was, but we had Northeast Asian blood in us. It's a fact. If she doesn't believe me, she can ask my sister. But she didn't like that. She said it's rubbish. And my sister's very careful with what she's doing. She's in touch with a lot of different DNA companies, and she's got a code that she can send to them and get updated all the time. So it's not baloney. Her daughter got the same DNA, mitochondrial DNA haplogroup as my sister, twin sister. So obviously I've got it as well because I'm her twin sister. And it's northeast Siberian. No, it's eastern Siberian basically, and you can find it in Mongolia. Uh, the sequence is actually uh, goes right to the people of Buryatia, the Inuits, the Aven, is it Avank? All these Siberian people and Mongolian people. It's also found in Korea, Japan, and China, in quite high numbers. So I think she found that difficult to get her head around, and she just doesn't believe it. She probably thinks that her family always lived in Switzerland. Well, no one lived in. It's like people saying Korea. Oh, you're 100% Korean. No, you're not. We all came from Africa. That is a theory of the day that we all descended from Adam and Eve, who never met, by the way. They were at different time periods. We came from one man and one woman, and they both came out of East Africa. It's scientific, it's proven, and we have to accept it. Yeah. What's wrong with that? We're related. I think that's good news, don't you? I think I've got problems with my mum. because she's very authoritarian, I think, and she likes to be right. She likes to be right on everything, but that's just her personality. That's calling her a narcissist. No, I don't think she's a narcissist at all. I don't think she's got any personality disorder or any mental health disorder. She's a very complex person. My phone. If there was an illness called complex personality disorder, then I could say she's got it, but there isn't. I can't figure out her. I can't figure the woman out at all. And the thing is, I love her to bits, but I'm not going to phone her until she phones me. Obviously, if she's on a deathbed, that's different. Uh, yeah, she's 79 now. She's an old lady. I love her to bits, and I want her to know that. I shouldn't say anything negative about my mum, really. If she's like that, it's her personality. It doesn't mean she's got a personality disorder. And I think my biggest problem is, yeah, my biggest problem is that I have got a personality disorder, and it's called borderline personality disorder, or its more modern name, emotionally, which I really don't like, emotionally unstable personality disorder. Unfortunately, yeah, it's true. For years, I've not wanted it. Well, it's not been that long since I've known about it. They hid it from me for about 20 years. They never told me. Why didn't they tell me? And it's very rare in 1989 to be um, diagnosed with that condition. So I was probably one of the first people in Britain to be diagnosed with that condition. I think I know who it was as well, but I think they were right. But there was two psychiatrists that didn't like me. I won't go into it now because it will just bring me out in tears. But what they did to me was cruel. But anyway, I ended up with that diagnosis. Um, I don't think they were correct at the time. I didn't know about it for 20 years, but when I read the symptoms, there's about 10, not symptoms, signs or traits. I've got most of them. And I think me having this disorder does cloud my judgment about people, especially my relationship with my mother and what she's like. Because I tend to see people in black and white and not in between. Not so much now as I'm getting older, but I used to. It's getting better gradually. But it's like you love like take my partner for instance. So one day I got really angry with him. I hit him on the arm like that. And do you know what the thought came into my mind? No, I won't tell you. But I thought, why did you even think that? It just wound me up so much. I had this awful thought. And I thought, if I actually spoke it out aloud, it could get me into a lot of trouble. And I thought, what sort of person has a thought like that? And it scared me. And I've only hurt one person physically, and that was my sister. I threw a Rubik's Cube at her head. Well, aimed it at her head. Luckily, she ducked, because if she hadn't, I could have killed her. And the other time, and I was about 16, 17, something like that. My age doesn't excuse me, though. And the other thing is, I gave her a black eye because she wouldn't buy me a bottle of drink. I was about 19 and 19 or 20, which is ridiculous. I feel so embarrassed about it, but it's the truth that happened. Yeah, because I was embarrassed about going to the same shop every morning before work. So I asked my sister if she could go in there for me, and she said no. And I gave her a black eye, just punched her in the eye like that. And that's only 2 times I've been violent against someone. Yeah, as I said, my partner, he winds me up, but he does do it deliberately. I think he sometimes likes making me feel small, and it builds up. My anger just builds up. What I do is I keep the anger inside me for a while, and then it just explodes like that. And but then what's confusing, and when he's like that, when he's in a horrible mood, which can last weeks, literally, well, usually about a week or two, something like that, 3 weeks at the most. I shouldn't exaggerate. But then he can be really, really nice to me, so I get confused. And what usually brings on these attacks of when he's attacking me verbally, but not, it's being really sarcastic and putting me down, yeah, or laughing when I'm really upset, that sort of thing. But it's usually when he's under a lot of stress from work, and I just keep that hidden and buried. And then, as I said, it explodes, and then I get angry with him and say horrible things to him and horrible things about him that I can think of, which isn't much. So I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. But then the following week, I think, oh, he's lovely. He's lovely. I love him. I love him. And it's the same with my mum. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. And then it's, I love her. I love her. I love her. It's like that. I think one of the first books written by a psychiatrist about borderline personality disorder was called I Love You, I Hate You. And I think that's a brilliant title. It's not it's not nice having a brain like this. It's not nice thinking things like hating someone, really hating someone, and then loving them to bits, worshipping them. I don't know if it's getting better. I know I said it's getting better, but I'm not really sure. And my mum, I think, has got a complex personality, but I don't think she's got a personality disorder. She did some wonderful things. She was a wonderful mother in a lot of ways. I think she had high hopes for us girls. Um, she liked it when I got a job. She was proud. She never spoke a lot of these things, though. She was not one to give. She wasn't one to give compliments because she thought if you give too many compliments, or you give compliments, that the child or young person becomes like a big head. Do you know what I mean? But I think she should have given me more compliments as I was growing up. I don't think she did. And when you got this condition that I've got, the skin is really thin. You feel things much deeper than other people. And if anything bad's happened to you in your life, you never forget. So I feel things on a deeper level than most people. That's a fact. I mean, a stupid twat wrote a book years ago, and there was an uproar. amongst the borderline personality disorder community, saying that we had 0 degrees of empathy, which likened us to psychopaths, basically. When really, we're the opposite of psychopaths. Even psychiatrists were coming out and saying, no, that they're the opposite of psychopaths. These are people that have a lot of empathy for other people. I'm constantly thinking about what other people might think, or what other people might say. Will I hurt their feelings if I do this? Will I hurt their feelings if I say that? And I thought, even standing up for myself, feel guilty for standing up for myself. That's how bad it is. Like when I stand up to my mum, if I don't agree with her, even. If she says something and I don't agree with it, she doesn't like it, and she raises her voice, and I still disagree with her, and she still doesn't like it, I put the phone down or whatever, and then I feel guilty. I've not done anything wrong. The only thing I did wrong was not to agree with her. So I'm waiting for her to phone me, basically. I said in the past, it was if whenever we had like an argument, which wasn't that often really, on the phone, because we never had one face to face. One or two maybe, but not very often. It usually occurs over the phone for some reason. Well, she lives a long way away from me. But I would always be the one to make the peace. But I decided this time I'm going to wait for her. And I said to her, I don't know what I said to her, but I just sent her a message on WhatsApp. It was a nice message. She never replied to it. Just explaining everything to her. And I didn't mean to upset her. And I didn't think it was wrong to show those family pictures. Maybe I should have phoned her first, but she's never liked me YouTube, doing YouTube right from the beginning. I mean, the first two videos I've spoken at like a sort of posh voice. I got rid of the first one, it was awful. But the first two videos I made, my voice was much better than it is now, I must say. It was better then. And I think I came across fine. And I made quite a few, and one of them garbage, it's awful because I think I look like a pumpkin in that picture. I was so fat then. Um, I'm not being fattest, by the way. I didn't like my head looking so fat. It looked like a pumpkin. But what I said was quite good, and it got a lot of views. And I made quite a few. I think I made one a day or one every other day, something like that. And my mum said they were horrible because she couldn't understand a word I was saying, which I don't think was true. Uh, Maybe she couldn't, I don't know. And the AI videos, I thought, I know the ones right at the beginning when I started doing them were quite ridiculous and naff. They were naff, I agree. But I wasn't using an proper AI generator then. I was using avatars and different apps to make ridiculous videos, basically. But they were quite popular with some people. Then I became more sophisticated with AI, art, as some people like to call it, but I refuse to call it art. And very sophisticated. I have to do a lot of research. And if people don't believe me, they can just look in this book. Wait a minute. Estonia, bubble goth. I'm doing like aesthetes, different aesthetics in different countries. The Scythians, who were the Scythians? An artist, a Japanese artist, Kusama. art brew. Have you ever heard of art brew before? Probably haven't. So I do colours as well. I've got a lot of notes on rare colours. The rarest blue is called Yin Min Blue, and that was invented by the Chinese, but I don't know when. And I put a lot of thought into my prompts. The prompt is important, and you can enhance the prompt as well, and you'll get a totally different picture. Plus, there's modals that you can use. I don't call them models, I call them modals, and you can mix them. On the AI that I use, called Gencraft, you can mix modals to get different pictures, like different faces, etc. So, a lot of thought and there's the styles as well. I can use artists as well. I must admit, I have started using, recently, started using contemporary artists. For those, any images that I generate, because I keep them in a library, I'd never sell. When I do, if I in the future do sell my images, they will be ones that aren't related to any artist, living or dead. So it's a hobby. It's a hobby, and I do a lot of research into textures, different arts, crafts, etc. It's not very good at doing national costumes. I tried to do Mongolian recently. It's terrible. And I looked up Mongolian national costumes. Nothing like the ones I had on my phone. They were more like Chinese, really. More like Chinese. None of them looked Mongolian. And I tried it on another AI generator. No, none of them look Mongolian. And if you do East European on, say, Bing, which is that's quite good, and it's free. Well, you can do 15 plus, because with every creation you get like up to 1 to 4 pictures, so you can generate quite a lot. Bulgarian, Romanian, uh, Russian, Polish, Lithuanian, Ukrainian, whatever. They all come out with the same clothing and the same face. That's why I don't use Bing a lot, because you get the same wide mouth, same wide, sharp cheekbones, the same long, narrowish eyes. It just looks like a typical Russian model for any country you pick. Even France looks the same, or Swiss look the same, but a little bit different maybe. They can't get the Swiss national costumes right. And they've got in Switzerland, every region, every canton has got a different national costume, and they're all very unique and very ornate. If you've got time, try and look for Swiss national costume, Swiss female national costume, and you'll be amazed at the array of costumes. They don't. When my daughter goes to work, 'cause she's a flight attendant, I say, or when she goes on holiday, because she goes away abroad quite a bit, I say, can you buy me a doll? Not too big, I like smallish dolls, of wearing national costume. And she said, I can't find them. So they don't do them anymore. That's a real shame. Have people forgotten their national costume? I don't think so. Because I was looking up Siberian Buryatia, Republic of Buryatia, that is part of Russia still. It's got slight independence. But they got beautiful clothes. And I looked up, as I say, Mongolia, and they still wear their national costumes. The Uyghurs still wear their national costumes. So it seems in that Central Asia, going towards the east, they still wear their national costumes. And remember, China is a huge country with lots of different ethnic groups, and they still wear their national costume with pride. Thing I'd like to know is, why don't British people have a national costume. Well, I'll tell you why this is. It's because of the huge wealth gap we've always had here. So really, the national costume of Britain would either be like a monarchist, a monarchy, a king or queen or princess. Yeah, with a tiara or a crown. Yeah. Or a beef eater. Is it a beef eater? No, not a beef eater. The people with those bearskin hats that guard Buckingham Palace. Those people. Or you get one of those, or you get a beef eater. You might get a Welsh woman with a chimney pot hat, a shawl, I can't remember what colour, a dark dress, I think, skirt, and a white apron. Cornwall's a bit similar, but without the hat. Um, Ireland's got a green cloak. England, well, the national costume of England would be rags, basically. It's true because of the huge wealth gap in this country. Anyway, that's given me an idea for another video, actually. Yeah, so that's probably why we don't have a national costume, because we couldn't afford one. The working class just wore the same clothes day in, day out. They had clothes, what they called the Sunday best, that they wore on Sunday if they went to church. And I don't think a lot of the poor people were churchgoers. So they usually pawned their Sunday best. And then when they could afford it, they got it out. But sometimes they used to walk around in that for days at home in that underwear. They couldn't go out because they had nothing to wear. Sometimes they didn't even have underwear. It's that bad. And it's true. And then that went on until the 1940s, I think. 1940s when things started, after the war, things started getting better for the working class after the 1940s, after the Second World War. But this country has always been very unequal. I'm not patriotic at all, as people probably know. Would I like to live in Switzerland? I think I would prefer to live in Switzerland, but I don't think they would accept me because I'm not skilled in anything. And I don't think my partner would have the patience to learn German at his age. Um, I've got Swiss nationality, but I haven't got Swiss citizenship, so I can't just live there. And my passport, I haven't got a passport. I haven't had a passport since I was. Well, the last time I used a passport was when I was 18. So the last time I went abroad was when I was 18 years old. I've got no one to blame but myself. Too frightened to fly. Could have gone away, could have gone to Poland, what I wanted to do a few years ago. But then I thought, my son offered to take me to Poland, but I thought, no, I just can't get on a plane. How am I going to knock myself out? Will they have to carry me off the plane? I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get on a plane. I'd like to go to Korea. That's my number one destination. And Japan. And I'd love to go to Iceland. Was it Iceland? Iceland or I never know how to say that. Greenland. I'd like to go to Greenland. Greenland. I'd like to go to Buryatia. That is my place I want to go more than ever. No, not making sense. That is a place I want to visit more than any other place in the world and meet my relatives. I know my mum won't like me saying that, but I've got relatives there. It's in my blood, and the blood doesn't lie. Bye.